Hi everyone, it's Celeste. This is a quick little video. I'm going to be redoing this planter that I bought. I believe I bought this planter on Etsy. And as you can see, the plants, they've been in here for quite a while and are looking pretty gross. So this definitely needs to be cleaned up. So I'm going to do today this little planter and probably cut a lot of this down. It's leggy. There's some bugs I can see in here, so I'll definitely be spraying it with insecticidal soap. There's a really cool crest in here, you can see, just super cool. So I tend to put that always in the middle, and then the rest of these I will just be popping in some other cuttings that I have from around the yard. It stays in a bright sunny location, but it's not like in direct sun. It's basically just in a really bright area of underneath my patio, and so I can tend to grow definitely aeoniums in this little planter, but some of the ones that want more direct sunlight, this is a bad candidate. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and then at the end of the video I will share the final result. Here we are partway through. This is where I've removed all of the dead plant material, so you can see I basically took it back down to the dirt. What I've done is I put, you'll see there's like this, well, it's easier to see right here, granular fertilizer. So I have put that in there just to kind of help these plants a little bit, give them a little bit of a boost. You can see that the soil is incredibly dry, and that's what you need if you're going to be using cuttings. You don't want to have moist soil, so it's not like most plants where you would put them into more like a moist setting. Here with cuttings you want to have really dry soil. This particular planter actually doesn't have holes in the bottom, so I tend to hand water it. This little guy right here is a crest, and now you can see it a little bit better. Super cool. We don't actually know why these plants do this. So crests are like just an abnormality, basically. It's something maybe like the plant was attacked by bugs or had some level of disease it had to fight off, but it's not normal for them to create this kind of a stem. So these are pretty prized in the succulent and cacti community. And this is one that I've had for a very long time. Tends to have a hard time to standing up. So what you can't see behind it is there's a little bamboo rod that I just basically put behind it so that it helps it so that it's not leaning over, because I want it to stand up. I've left some of these more trailing succulents. They're fine, they're healthy and okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave those. The next thing that I'm going to put in here on top of this dry soil, because again it's cuttings, I'm just going to put in probably a little more dry soil across the top, just to kind of, because over time as the plants eat up the nutrients, your soil level tends to drop. So I'm going to add in a little bit more soil, and then what I'll also do is I will put some chicken grit in there, and then I will show you after that what that ends up looking like. So that's my next step. Here's what the chicken grit that has been put into the planter. I did plant this one. That's because this little guy, Gymnocalacium I believe is what it's called, it actually has some roots, and so I wanted to put that in before I put the chicken grit in. But this chicken grit, you can see, is really cool. It's got this lavender color, looks like rock. This is actually my friend Sarah's bright idea to use this chicken grit. I'll put a link in the description. You can get this on Amazon, but I like this because I think it's very pretty, and I've mentioned in some of my other videos I tend to use blue a lot, and so this chicken grit, it actually contrasts with a lot of the little stuff that I like to put in really well, especially like blue fireglass. It tends to be super beautiful. So but this is basically what you do. Again, this is all just dry ingredients, and then you can see down here I've cut a lot of the little pretty tops that were originally part of all of this, so you can see just taking those pieces off, and then some of the little pieces that were actually buried, they were in that original arrangement that was really leggy and looked awful at the beginning of the video. So these were some of the little hidden pieces that I had in there, fiberglass and a little glass turtle and things like that. So again, now all I'm going to be doing is just poking these different plants in. Normally, if this was, you know, wasn't this particular crest, and I don't want to move it because crests are a little more sensitive, normally I would not put, just in a design, I would not put this big piece in the middle. I would tend to offset a little bit, so I would put it over like on the left hand side, for example, so I wouldn't have it just, you know, kind of smack in the middle, because from a design perspective that's not the best. Typically you want to put more of the bigger pieces on the left hand side and then kind of stagger and create it like an undulating look. But again, this crest, I don't want to mess with it. A little nervous about pulling that out or doing anything with it. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave it there, and then I will create the design around this. And here's the final result. And I'll actually show you from the top as well. But like I mentioned, you want to create that kind of an undulating effect, right? So you can see how this does like this. And that's what you're looking for, right? You want to create that. It gives your eye something interesting to look at and balances out your design. So when you see it from the back, actually see it's quite pretty. A lot of these plants will now color up quite a bit because I've stressed them out, because I basically cut their roots off. There is actually a Halloween crest right here. I had some pieces that broke off of another, thank you, Coco. Hey. I had a Halloween crest that broke, and so I actually put it here to kind of give it a place to live while it's recuperating from having been broken off. Those red aeoniums that were there from the beginning. It's a little kiwi. And then you can see I put the fiberglass around. There's real no rhyme or reason for the fiberglass, but I'll show you from the top view. It'll actually make a little more sense when you see it from that perspective. This Agavoides, which is super red because it had its roots cut off quite a while ago, and so that's what they do. They tend to color up like that when they're stressed. This little Echeveria that I recently got. It was a piece that broke off. So again, I'm just using, you know, things that have broken. Same thing here. This is called Aeonium glitter variegate. It was a piece that broke off. So I'm just using some of the scraps that I've kept in the yard, and I'm just popping them in. Another kiwi aeonium. Aeoniums are okay with having less light, and so that's why, again, because this is going to be in a covered patio, this is the place that I can use these. This one back here is Blushing Beauty, which is one of the ones that I use quite a lot in my yard. Also very hardy, can handle being in the shade. So Lola, a little Lola baby. So I'm just going to pop that in. I think that will look super cute. Another Aeonium Halloween. Little turtle. More of those red aeoniums. And then another Halloween crest that broke. You can kind of see where it's got that funny little shape to it. Okay, so now I'm going to stand up, hopefully not make people sick when I do this. So you can see from this angle how the ribbon works. Comes across like this, goes around, so you can see I'm just creating, it's almost like a snake, right? And it goes through, comes here in the front, and goes around like this, and then ends at the shell. So look over that one more time so you can see. But that fiberglass combination, that blue with the pink, that's just one of my absolute favorites. And so you can see what that looks like from above. It's quite pretty. Okay, so, you know, I did this in probably about 15-20 minutes. And this is a little area, this little planter sits on my patio. I'll try to find the link to this planter. It was custom made. It's about 4 feet long, and I really, really like it. Again, it doesn't have holes in the bottom, but you could drill holes if you wanted to. Just for me in particular, I hand water this, so, and it's also sitting on a wood table that I have, a wood serving table, and I don't want the water to mess up the table, and so I hand water this carefully. I'm just really, really careful about the amount of water because, again, succulents do not like water, having too much water, and so you have to be careful with how you are actually watering them so that you're not giving them too much or they will rot. But that is the redo of this little planter. I am located in San Jose, California. My zone is 9B, and this is from my garden in the March timeframe, 2024. I hope you're having a great weekend. Get outside, do something small, little like this. It doesn't have to be big, but once you do this, it's, you know, incredibly relaxing and a lot of fun to play with these plants. It's one of the fun things about these plants is that you can just take cuttings, you can pop it in, you can create an arrangement just like as if you were creating a flower arrangement and create something really beautiful for your patio. So again, I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. If these videos are something that you like, you know, please like and subscribe, send me comments, ask me questions. If I can answer, I will definitely do that. And I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.